Mr. Investor, welcome back to the channel, baby. We're back again. We've been a long time, but I'm back, baby. Bio and genomics, I'm going to list a few issues for you today that we're still working on and we're still trying to figure out in terms of, this company and its progression. Let's take a look at the latest updates as well in terms of the studies that are coming out and being published. Talk about some events coming up that Bio and genomics is attending. As customers and what they've said about Bio and genomics optical genome mapping system and how it can help them with their clients and their business models. But before we get into this video, please remember none of this is financial advice, for entertainment only. And if you could please hit the like, hit the subscribe, drop me some comments down below. It really helps the video. So thank you so much for all the support. So I'm going to be doing YouTube full time now again. And I'm going to be updating you on any information that I find about companies, about business news as well. And if you're active on Twitter, there's a lot of great information coming out. So make sure you always take a look over on Twitter. And if you want to find me, my name on Twitter is @MrInvestorLot. Twitter is now X. So if you're on X, please make sure to follow me here because you'll be getting all the latest updates, the quickest news. It's the best way to disperse information for me because literally I could find something on the internet. I could write a tweet in 1 minute, and instead of filming, an hour and a half, 2 hours to create a YouTube video, I could tweet it out on here and you could get it instantly. But first of all, let me show you this tweet here. It's by Nico Chatron. I think he's based at this genetics lab inside a hospital of Leon. HCO is 13 public hospitals, 24,000 women and men, one vocation to treat and take care of each patient. So Nico put out a tweet about Alexander Hoyshin, and he was discussing the impact of optical genome mapping on cytogenetics. So virtually, that was his presentation. Also on Twitter, there was Nils Homer, who writes software for biologists. He's a founder of Fulcrum Genomics, bioinformatician, and a computer scientist. And so now Nils Homer has said that he wants IGV for complex rearrangements. He was explaining one of the problems that he has. I think IGV means Integrative Genomics Viewer, so a high performance, easy to use interactive tool for visual exploration of genomic data. Nandita M said that she believes that he needs optical genome mapping. My conflict of interest notwithstanding, you think you want this when you need optical genome mapping. Nils Homer responded with a meme. What do you want? It's not that simple. What do you want? It's just nice to see though that professionals in the genomics field, so this is a genomic scientist and educator at UGA Genetics. That is the University of Georgia. It's nice to see that they're clued up and they're stating, that they believe that optical genome mapping can solve certain issues. So people are talking about it in the industry. So now let's go over to events. So Science Work PTE Limited 12 hours ago stated that, at Singapore, Booth 5, this is going to be a collaborative effort between the Chinese University of Hong Kong, Baylor College of Medicine, National University of Singapore, and you're going to find out more about bionano's optical genome mapping system, the Sapphire, and its potential to reveal genome-wide structural variation in your prenatal and pediatric research. So Alka is going to be attending on the 23rd of September over there, and we'll be discussing applications of optical genome mapping and how it can significantly enhance research outcomes in constitutional genetic diseases and beyond. Across the world, they were discussing also the Nature study showcasing optical genome mapping's potential to enhance molecular diagnosis in Mendelian diseases through its ability to detect complex variants. Reanalyzing samples with OGM and other techniques increased diagnostic yield by 71%. And the person who was discussing this is actually a third-year student in biotechnology, and this is over in Valencia in Spain. So even now in the university system, a lot of people are talking about optical genome mapping. This company called BitBio, which is a spin-off from Cambridge University, they were speaking about why bionanogenomics is effective for them and why they need it in terms of enhancing quality control of next generation cells. So this is in particular, they were talking about induced pluripotent stem cells, which is a type of pluripotent stem cell that can be generated directly from a somatic cell. These are particularly useful because you can use these to create cells that replicate the tissue that is affected by disease. So with this technique, people will be able to test drug efficiency, they'll be able to look at side effects, toxicity, and to develop new drugs and therapies. So pharma could be investing heavily into, iPSCs. And in terms of improving the cell line quality control for cell bioprocessing for some companies, bionanogenomics has recently been establishing themselves and stating that they can also have access to this industry, to this market. Now, I don't think you'll be able to hear this video if I play it, so I'm just going to play it and then discuss. He states that bionanogenomics is a significant upgrade to their cytogenetics QC platform. And he is stating currently what they have there as their setup is a 2-assay platform. So it takes a couple tests and it takes 5 to 8 weeks. It's completely changing their process into a 1 assay, 1 test, 1 week. So not only did they reduce in terms of, the amount of tests that they're doing in their workflow, but they're reducing the time it takes in order to get their results. And it is providing superior data whilst reducing the running costs. And he said it's delivering next generation kind of karyotyping to BitBio and its customers. His exact words. So in terms of this iPSC market, we can see here it was $2.9 billion in 2023, and it's looking to have a compounded annual growth rate of more than 10%. So similarly to what the guy said at BitBio, was you can screen your cell lines for all classes of structural variants in a single assay. Lower the costs and turnaround times by bringing optical genome assay in-house from sample to answer in less than 1 week or around 1 week, which is what the guy said. And because you're consolidating, instead of having multiple tests, you're driving it into a single assay, it's driving down the cost and you are getting more cost savings. 26th of September, there's also going to be a presentation done by Ravindra Kohli. So this is the professor at the Department of Pathology, Augusta University, and Daniel Sol, who is the production manager, software solutions director at bionano. Remember, he was previously being interviewed on a news channel or news station, and he said this as well. He said about 50% of myeloid cancer genomes remaining cytogenetically normal are thus unresolved. So there's 50% of their patients where they know there's something there, but they have to send them home because they can't, take the next steps. And he's saying, mixing together next generation sequencing with optical genome mapping. So he said combination of OGM and the 523 gene next generation sequencing panel was 100% concordant with traditional methods. It generated multiple new findings of potential clinical significance, including some that would result in a revision of prognostic risk. So some of those people that said home and say that, there's not much they can do for them, they're now having new findings with optical genome mapping, stating that it's changing the way doctors are able to check patients for blood cancers. It's a lot more accurate than the current things that they have in place because they're able to see DNA in high resolution, and it can cut around 10 days out of waiting around for test results. It allows them to identify, diagnose, and treat patients faster. In this video, Ravindra Kohli was saying that they can identify a better prognosis, so a different alternative and better treatment plans can be given for the patient. These guys are already testing patients, they're already utilizing the Sapphire system, and it seems like Dr. Kohli is one of the biggest cheerleaders in terms of, driving better outcomes for patients, especially for these kinds of cancers like myeloid cancer. That same presentation, the director, Daniel Sol, who is bionano's production management director, is going to be talking about this software released by bionano called the VI, and it's a complete integrated solution for the visualization, interpretation, and reporting of genomic variants. So looking at all the data with a special pipeline to take hematological malignancy data from sample to final reported result in a seamless way to make it smooth for people who are utilizing the Sapphire system. That just came out as well. I believe this was University of Pittsburgh and also UPMC Hillman Cancer Center. So UPMC is a cancer treatment center. This is based in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, and it provides specialist cancer treatment for common and rare cancers. They have specialized programs by recognized cancer care specialists. There's a lot of special in that sentence. Special indeed when they said they utilize optical genome mapping, which helped them reveal novel structural rearrangements. So this is based around ILC, the invasive lobular carcinoma, which is a type of breast cancer that begins in the milk-producing glands, the lobules of the breasts. So now that's been done, let's talk about issues. Some of the issues that they're having is finance at the moment. It's got everybody thinking, is this company going to survive? They have the ATM facility they can tap into, but it's harmful for retail investors, for investors in general, because as they continue to sell at the market shares, they continue to dilute us in order to raise capital. So that's one of the capital raising facilities they have. They also have the ability to take on loans, but high interest rates at the moment. It's quite expensive, but they need to be able to survive. And one of the things that is causing a big issue is the expenditure in terms of, how much revenue they're making, about 8 million, something like 8-9 million per quarter. And then they're spending in the last quarter, they spent about 40 million US dollars. They only have 77 million cash on hand, I believe. And so they're going to need to continue tapping into that ATM in order to raise funds. But no matter how much funds they raise, they're going to dilute to oblivion, it seems like, because if you're spending 40 mil a quarter, you're only making 8-9 mil. When are you going to have the revenue ramp up to kind of just break even on the amount of expenditure you're having? And as they continue to grow, as they continue to provide more services for their customers, they're probably going to end up spending more. So this is one of the major issues people are having in terms of the investors. I had 54,000 shares before. After the reverse split, I have 5,400. I don't want to buy any more shares at this moment in time because I believe that it's still a risk at this moment. I'm looking at it and I'm thinking I could keep investing in this company and they could keep burning all this cash with very little revenue and 20 machines adopted per quarter, which is not a lot. When they're looking at a total addressable market, they said of, I think it was 7,000 to 10,000 Sapphire systems. And so if you're only managing to shift 20 per quarter, before the quarters before you were shifting 30, there was a quarter before you, it was over 30, I believe. And so now you've gone back down to shifting 20 something per quarter. It's a bit iffy, And whilst I understand there's a lot of things in play, like insurance, trying to get reimbursements, and also spending on research, events, trying to get out there, and you need to spend money to make money. They've done 2 expensive acquisitions. These 2 expensive acquisitions has put them in a place where they have all this staff come on, and they're having to continue to pay staff and continue to run these services. And although they tried to get ahead of the game and build out this end-to-end platform for their customers and having optical genome mapping solutions for their customers, this end-to-end platform from sample, from, having the Sapphire system, having optical genome mapping, getting the data and then putting it into what was formerly known as, biodiscovery. Having that end-to-end solution is great for customers, but where are your customers? You need to go and make sure you can sell and you can build out. And it's going to be quite difficult. I see them in a difficult position at the moment where they've lost investors' trust. They've done this reverse split. They continue to dilute, and lots of investors are like, should we really average down? Should we continue buying more shares? Will this company go bankrupt with the way that they're spending? How are they going to return value to the shareholders who bought up at $15 back in the day? The $15 back in the day was the equivalent of $150 here. So I believe it was $15.69. So, it's a lot. It's a lot of gaining they need to do. Current market cap's 106 mil. And right now, although, you can see the potential of the technology, the management is not really giving much to people who are trying to help this company, who are investing into this company as shareholders. A lot of the management haven't really built out a plan on how they're going to return value to us as shareholders. Some of these people, it's life savings. For me, I made quite a chunk of money. I made like 300% on Occidental Petroleum. I put my life savings into that company, and I had this massive, nice chunk of return. And then I've invested in Bio and Genomics as the prices come down, as the values come down, because I can see the potential of the technology. But is the management going to be able to bring the company to its full potential, or will they drive this company to the ground? I don't know. That's why I haven't averaged down at this moment in time. So for me to even break even right now, it's about 30 cents. Yeah, before pre-split, it's about 30 cents in value right now. I invested at $1.54. That's when I went all in on bionano genomics with the Occidental Petroleum money. So I'm looking at it and thinking, should I be investing more into this company that continues to burn cash and lose money? And when is the revenue ramp up going to be? When are you going to have clear goals and milestones, and you're going to reward retail investors for investing and believing in your company and giving you the money to continue to operate? So yeah, those are the issues that I can see at the moment. We're still waiting on larger scale adoption, revenue ramp up. Some of the customers said they need the machine to have higher throughput and to also drive the cost down. So I spoke to some NHS customers via email, and they were currently looking at, their pilot program and using optical genome mapping for, I think it was blood cancer. And they said right now, in terms of the NHS, if they were to adopt and use this, clinically, they'd need a higher throughput, and they'd also need the cost to come down. 2 other issues. Now, for me, I hope you've enjoyed this video. I tried my best to give you, the most information that I can find on the internet. Please remember, this is not financial advice, for entertainment only. And if you like this video, please hit me with a thumbs up. This is going to be my sole income from now on. So all I'm doing is making videos and enjoying, because I feel that I have freedom of time and I'm able to give value in terms of what I'm finding. As always, I hope you have a lovely week ahead of you. I wish you love, I wish you blessings, I wish you peace, and I'll catch you in the next video. Mr. Invest a Lot, over and out, baby.